So the third stage. Now, the third stage tends to be misunderstood for the following reason. Someone is demonstrating the third stage to you, so they're explaining that you have to jump up and down and land on the flats of your feet. So now you're hearing the bang, bang, bang as they demonstrate the flats of the feet. And then they shout, you have to shout, hoo, 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 hoo. And it's very loud. And so now we've got a bang, 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 bang. We've got the shout of hoo, which is very kind of noisy. And then you actually, the whole energy seems to be about down. So you even start worrying about the floor, which is really a shame, because the whole point of that third stage is not about energy going down, it's about energy going up. So if you're jumping up and down, think more as if you're on a trampoline, right? You're going energetically higher and higher and higher. So if you want to think of anything, don't think of the floor, think of the ceiling. And it is about energy, it's not about physical strength. We had this guy here who was a triathlon professional. I don't know if you know the triathlon. It's a sport where they run forever and cycle forever and swim forever, and whoever's left alive at the end wins. I mean, it's a very exhausting sport. And this guy's a professional. Now looking at us lot going, well, how come they can do dynamic and I can't? It's not about physical strength, it's about energy. And similarly, I had another friend who had bad knees and was kind of uncomfortable about jumping up and down on the concrete in the auditorium. The auditorium floor has some give in it, so it's actually fine, but you know, she was a little uneasy because of her knees, so then she decided she would use a mat to jump up and down on, but of course, by the end of the second stage, where the hell's my mat? Now you've spoiled the whole energetic flow, so that doesn't work. So then, of course, the next thing is you put a mat on your feet called a pair of socks, and now you slide all over the place. So the key was Nike have this wonderful cushioned short sock, and if you cut the toes off, then you don't slide, and you have some cushion if you feel a little uneasy about your knees or your back or whatever. Anyway, whether it was psychological or not, I have no idea, but suddenly she was absolutely clear. Now everything is fine. Off she goes, and then later reports, I don't know what happened. It was like I was on a pogo stick. Suddenly, it seemed like I just could go on jumping up and down forever. She'd hit that effortless space. And then at the end of the 10 minutes, and when the stop came, stop, she said, then, you know, it felt like I was hanging from a beam. So of course, the last thing I'm going to do if I'm hanging from a beam is bend my elbows. Of course. So the energetic element here is absolutely critical. And if you think you've all heard of self-hypnosis, and you're probably all experts at self-hypnosis even though you don't realize it, and that situation where you open the refrigerator and you say, oh, I can't see the ketchup, and then your friend says, that big red sucker right in the middle there, oh, right? Or you're trying to leave the home in the morning and your keys are all over your stuff's all over the place and your keys are in the middle and you go, I can't see my keys. What's happening? I'm saying I can't see something and it disappears. It's a well-known phenomenon. So guess what? Here you are and it's 6:25 going, oh, geez, I'm not going to manage this. I can't do this. No, it's too late. I should have gone to bed early. You know, this is going to be terrible. I can't survive. I never managed today. I'm just not going to make it. Guess what? You're not going to make it. That's what you're telling yourself, which is not intelligent at all. And Osho addresses this issue in the following way. He explains that we all live on a very narrow band of energy. And there is a huge amount of energy actually available. And the example he gives is, let's say you've just finished this 5-year project. It's been a huge project. It's been going on forever and ever. And now today was the final day. And for the last week or two, you've had absolutely no sleep. It had to be finished by today. And finally, the day has come. You've handed it in. You couriered it. It's gone. There is now nothing more you can do. You're absolutely exhausted. You've had no sleep for a week or two. And you're like on your hands and knees. You're crawling towards your bed because you're going to sleep for at least a month. And the house catches on fire. You are wide awake, fully alert, not even a glimpse of tiredness or sleep. You're ready to do whatever the hell you have to do. Now the house is on fire. And you will stay alert long after the house is no longer on fire. You are full of energy. Those levels of energy are there. You know, stories of mum picking up a car and holding it while someone pulls their kid from underneath. Those emergency levels of energy are absolutely available. What you have to do is realize this is an emergency. You have to understand this is life or death. It really is. I mean, you think how many people live a very, very kind of almost a posthumous existence. They're hardly alive. They are breathing, but that's about all. Drowning in unconscious whatever. And Osho is saying, if you really apply yourself to this meditation, this changes your life. When Osho used to lead dynamic himself, and he would apparently always start by saying, everybody ready? Prepare to die. So he had no illusions this was a pretty difficult hour. And when then everyone would meet with Osho and say, well, you know, I was thinking because, you know, my hands get really tired and I really hate having to keep them up and they're really, really exhausted. I was just wondering if maybe it'd be okay if I could just bring my hands out, right? And he would then, every time they would ask and every time he would reply, the hands have to be there. No compromise. Just watch. Is it your mind or the body? Now, tomorrow morning, for example, is anyone anticipating a little difficulty keeping the hands up for the full 10 minutes, followed by another 15 minutes of just standing there with your hands up in the air, doing nothing for the 15 minutes with your hands up in the air? Not a problem? Anyone got a problem? Anyone expecting... Anyone going to be telling the truth here? We got anyone? Little problem could be there. Okay, so I tell you what, we do a deal. Now, tomorrow morning, if you can manage the full 10 minutes, jumping up and down on the flats of the feet, hands up in the air, yes, right? For the full 10 minutes, and then stop, and then you have your hands up in the air, no movement. Just frozen. Just stay there, yes, for the full 15 minutes. You manage, that's 25 minutes, right? You manage the full 25 minutes tomorrow morning, and there's $1 million in your bank account. I thought you said it was difficult. Right. What do you mean if I keep my hands up till 7:45, can I have 2 million? That's a very... We play this game with ourselves. We actually bullshit ourselves. I can't do it, I can't do it. I stretch it out, I stretch it out. This, as I said before, this has got a beginning and a middle and an end. And you really go for broke. How long? Well, I told you, he said maybe 3 weeks. And then on another occasion, he's talking about dynamic and says, well, if you give me 1 hour of your life, you will notice the difference. Give me 7 days, you'll be a different person. So is it 7 days, another occasion, fewer than that? Everybody is different, but it really depends on your totality and your commitment to really start it and be done with it. Then you can stay in bed, right? It's not something that, our minds are so kind of conditioned to longer is better. So just go for broke. Get your $1 million and be done with it, right? It's, of course, possible. And, if you had to do it, of course you would. If someone had a gun to your best friend's head, hello? You'd keep jumping all day, right? I mean, of course, we just play this game with ourselves. Oh, I can't do it, and I can't manage. And, it's a really, really silly game we play. Go for broke. Discover that level of energy. It's there, waiting for you. Just requires whatever that totality and courage, whatever it is, it takes. So, the stop. At the end of that 30 minutes, there's the stop. Now, whatever position you're in, freeze. Don't be going, if you're scratching your bum, you're scratching your bum. That's where you freeze. If you're wiping your nose, you're wiping your nose. That's where you freeze. You freeze in whatever position you're in, totally. Now, you've spent 30 minutes busting a gut. This is hard work. And the stop is an incredibly powerful moment, irrespective of whatever position you're in. I don't know if you've ever had a car smash where you kind of hit some immovable object like a tree, but it's very strange, it's very particular. You go bang, and then everything that's kind of peripheral, all the bits in the car go are thrown to the edge. It's a bit like Sufi whirling where the center's there and everything moves to the periphery. So it's the same game. You're going bang, stop. And as Osho says, then this alertness will come to its peak. So there you are, stop. Totally frozen. Who knows where you will end up? One thing is definitely possible. There you are, stop. And then you discover that one of your old friends has come along with you. The logical one? The one who goes, well, look, you went to bed really late last night, and I think you should bring your hands down because, Osho wouldn't want you to feel uncomfortable, and, it's just, and tomorrow will be good. Wait till tomorrow, and then, that guy, the logical one. And then there's your other friend, the emotional one, right? The one who goes, you fucking asshole, I fucking told you to fucking not do it. You fucking get your hands down, that guy, right? Now, this is really interesting. Here's this guy, whoever this is, right? Able to notice this guy and this guy. Well, that's interesting. Whoever is the kind of the watching, the experiencer, the phenomena that's doing the awareness, whatever this thing is, it definitely has to be different from whatever this thing is. Clear. I mean, the hand can't see the hand. Something over here is looking at something over there. Something over here is looking at something over there. Whatever this is not the same as whatever this is. Logically impossible. So you have just confirmed for yourself, you've done the experiment, I am not my mind. There's 7 billion people out there who've been convinced that they are their mind. And you can see for yourself. It's not possible. You just did the experiment. It's clearly not true. Interesting. And then the second really interesting point is, there you are, and you want your $1 million, right? So you're not going to take any notice of all these guys at all. They could do whatever they want. I want my $1 million. And now what do you discover? I'm going nowhere. And what you've discovered is, I don't have to take any notice of these guys. I can notice what they're saying, but I don't have to do what they tell me. Whose life is this anyway? You mean I don't have to be ruled by my own thoughts and emotions? I mean, I don't have to live like pulled this way by this thought and pulled this way by this emotion all day long, like I got some terrible neurological condition. I can just see them and decide. If I want to listen, I listen. If I don't want to listen, I'm just going to stay here because I really fancy the $1 million. Simple. Your decision. So that's probably the most interesting moment. I tell you a little funny story. If any of you have trouble with your hands in the air, there was one day in what's now Buddha Grove. Osho comes in, he's going to give a talk that morning on the podium. It's quite hot, there was no roof that day. Comes in, sits down, and as he always would just lean towards the microphone and start talking. We're all looking at each other. Jeez, the audio's not working. We didn't hear a word. So Osho's sitting there. Everyone's kind of looking around. I mean, who the hell knows how the audio works, right? And then this guy, you know, the audio guys always look like kind of special forces. They sort of come running to the front, and he sort of worked his way through everybody who was sitting on the floor, and he just dumped the microphone straight in the middle of the podium. Like, was he expecting Osho to kind of get up and start fixing the... I mean, you know, Osho's going to just give his talk. If you can hear, very good. If you can't hear, get the audio fixed. So I'm a little bit near the front, so I crawl forward, get on the podium, grab hold of this microphone, and get right up against the chair and pretend to be a microphone stand. Perfect. The first question. Osho's off, right? Wonderful, right? So I'm there, I'm thinking, well, it'll be just a few minutes, you know, they'll soon have it fixed. They'll soon have it fixed. Nothing. It's like, what? I'm still keeping a straight face, like, what the fuck's going on? So then I'm thinking, oh no, this is simply not possible. Well, you know, Osho is a really compassionate person. He'll keep it short, no worries. No. Normal length. So don't ask me. When you have to do it, you have to do it. So it's not a problem, right? You'll get your $1 million tomorrow morning. Okay? So now let's just look at the demonstration of the last 3 stages. The third stage, 10 minutes. With arms raised high above your head, jump up and down shouting the mantra Hu, 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 as deeply as possible. Each time you land on the flats of your feet, let the sound hammer deep into the sex center. Give all you have, exhaust yourself completely. The fourth stage, 15 minutes. Stop. Freeze wherever you are, in whatever position you find yourself. Don't arrange the body in any way. A cough, a movement, anything will dissipate the energy flow and the effort will be lost. Be a witness to everything that is happening to you. The fifth stage, 15 minutes. Celebrate. With music and dance, express whatsoever is there. Carry your aliveness with you throughout the day.